Let's talk about the word collusion. The word collusion has come up surprisingly frequently on political programs for the last year and a half. And recently, I've been telling you how the narrative around Russian collusion has shifted drastically from there was no collusion to collusion wouldn't be illegal. First, it was just right-wing media. We heard on Fox and Friends like a year ago, collusion's not actually a crime. More recently, it was Donald Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, who started saying, I don't even know where collusion exists in the criminal code. And then over the weekend, we finally got to Donald Trump himself, who admitted that, yeah, we intended to work with Russia to get damaging information about Hillary Clinton at that Trump Tower meeting. But the argument is it wasn't illegal. So one of the stories is the moving of the goalposts. That's a big part of the story. And I've already explained to you how just because collusion doesn't show up by name in the criminal code, colluding with a foreign country can encompass many crimes. Receiving things of value from foreign countries for the purposes of elections, obstruction of justice, conspiracy, campaign finance violations. There's this very long list of actual codified crimes that could fall under the umbrella of collusion. But let's put that aside for a second. Let's skip the semantic argument about whether collusion is the crime or merely describes the crime, because Donald Trump has actually already said he believes collusion is a crime. There's a really good piece in the Washington Post by Aaron Blake which points this out. And it points out that if collusion isn't a crime, why has Donald Trump been insisting for months now, or maybe even longer than that, that Hillary Clinton and the Democrats colluded with Russia and should be investigated? If it's not a crime to collude with Russia, why would Donald Trump suggest anybody be investigated for it? Here's one recent example from Donald Trump's Twitter, where he said, quote, collusion with Russia was very real. Hillary Clinton and her team 100% colluded with the Russians, and so did Adam Schiff, who is on tape trying to collude with what he thought was Russians to obtain compromising material on Donald J. Trump. We already know that Hillary Clinton paid through a law firm, eventually Kremlin-connected sources, to gather info on Donald Trump. Collusion is very real with Russia, but only with Hillary and the Democrats, and we should demand a full investigation. As Aaron Blake points out, one would launch an investigation into Hillary colluding with Russia if illegal activity was suspected. If it's collusion with Russia that's suspected and that's not a crime, why would you start an investigation into Hillary's collusion with Russia? This isn't a one-off from Donald Trump. It's happened time and again. June 8th, Trump suggested Democrats should be investigated for collusion and obstruction of justice. July 29th, Donald Trump tweeted, why is Mueller only appointing angry Dems, some of whom have worked for crooked Hillary, others, including himself, have worked for Obama? And why isn't Mueller looking at all of the criminal activity and real Russian collusion on the Democrat side, Podesta dossier? If it's not a crime, why would you suggest Mueller look into it? Donald Trump even said in an interview that collusion is corruption, and thus it warrants investigation. He made a huge deal out of it. Take a look at this.
This is very big, and frankly, it's unbelievable. What was just found out is that the Department of Justice, the State Department, and the FBI colluded, got together to make Hillary Clinton look less guilty and look a lot better than she looks. This is one of the big breaking stories of our time, in my opinion. This shows corruption at the highest level.
Collusion is corruption at the highest level. So, of course, who cares what the legal argument is that Trump is making? Legally, he's clueless. The real issue is when you lie all the time, the lies start to conflict. There was no Russian meddling. And why didn't Obama prevent the Russian meddling? Because it started under his watch. Wait, if it didn't happen, what is there for Obama to prevent? Collusion isn't a crime, but Hillary colluded and should be investigated for it. The bottom line is that the primary idea continues to be, I didn't do it, but if I did, it wasn't a crime. But if others did it, it is a crime, and they are the ones who should actually be investigated. And sadly, it's stupid enough to possibly work because it's already convinced endless Trumpists. Look at the discussions that are taking place in the Trump-friendly recesses of the internet. They have fallen for this hook, line, and sinker. If it's not illegal, why is Trump saying Hillary should be investigated for it? Send me your thoughts. You can also discuss this on the David Pakman Show subreddit at davidpakman.com/REDDIT. Quick break. Great interview coming up next. Today's program is sponsored in part by Blinkist.com/Pakman. If you've not already heard about Blinkist, it's amazing. It's an app for your phone, tablet, or web browser. And what they do is they take nonfiction books, popular nonfiction, critically acclaimed nonfiction. They condense the book into a 15-minute audiobook. You get all the most important information and insights from each book, but you can soak up the entire essence of the book in one sitting. I've listened to a ton of books on Blinkist. One recent one is Robert Reich's new book, The Common Good. Also Bunk by Kevin Young, useful in preparing me for the pseudoscience miniseries that we're producing. And if you are a David Pakman Show viewer or listener, you can get a 7-day free trial by going to Blinkist.com/Pakman. If you're watching on YouTube, use the link in the video description. After the free trial, if you like it, you can get the full access to thousands of condensed audiobooks for about $5 a month. That's BLINKIST.com/PAKMAN.